So today we're in Seoul, and this is one of those places that doesn't really show up on the top 10 things to do lists, but it probably should. It's the Nonghyup Agricultural Museum. And before you immediately think, okay, farming, just give me a second because this is not just about crops. This is basically a timeline of how people in Korea figured out how to live, stay in one place, and build everything from scratch. Like, this is where stability begins. As the exhibition begins with the Neolithic age, it focuses on a period where people are still moving between different ways of living, including hunting, gathering, and early forms of cultivation. The tools on display show this transition clearly. Grand stone axes are carefully shaped and smoothed through repeated use. These were used to clear vegetation and open up small areas of land. Not large fields, but enough space to return to and work on over time. Another key object in this section is the grinding stone. It's usually made of a small flat-based stone with a smaller handheld piece. The surface shows clear signs of long-term use. These tools were used to crush grains such as millet into a form that could be cooked and eaten more easily. This process adds an extra step between gathering food and consuming it, showing that food preparation is becoming more structured. Early pottery is also displayed here. These vessels are thick and practical, made for everyday use rather than decoration. Some were used for cooking over fire, while others held water or stored small amounts of grain. Even limited storage changes how food is managed, allowing it to be kept and used later instead of being consumed immediately. What stands out in this section is how these tools work together. Clearing land, processing grain, and storing food all connect into a developing system. It's a gradual shift, where repeated actions slowly form the foundation of more settled ways of living. As the timeline moves forward into the Bronze Age, agriculture becomes more organized, especially with the development of rice farming. Rice is not something that can be easily planted and left alone. It depends on water being controlled very carefully. Fields were flattened so water could spread evenly, and low soil walls were built to keep that water in place. Channels were used to guide water from nearby sources, into different sections of the field, depending on what was needed at the time. This adds a new level of responsibility to farming. It's not just about planting crops, but about maintaining the right conditions for them to grow. Water levels have to be managed properly, and that requires attention throughout the entire growing season. Bronze tools begin to appear during this season. They are stronger and more reliable than stone, and they can be shaped with more precision. This makes everyday tasks like cutting, digging, and harvesting more consistent. Work becomes slightly faster, but more importantly, more controlled. Rice farming also depends on people working together. Preparing the fields, managing the water, and harvesting the crops cannot be done alone. Each stage has to be done at the right time, and that naturally brings people into a shared system where labor and knowledge are combined. By this point, agriculture is no longer just a set of individual actions. It becomes a connected process where land, water, tools, and people all play a role in keeping it going. As the exhibition moves into the Iron Age, the tools become stronger and more advanced, especially because iron changes how farming work is done. A key part of this section is the iron making process. Iron ore is heated at very high temperatures until it becomes soft enough to shape. It is then hammered and formed into tools. This process takes a lot of control because the heat has to be kept steady for the iron to become usable. The tools made from iron are much stronger than earlier materials. Iron plowshares can cut deeper into the soil, which makes it easier to prepare larger areas of land. Sickles are sharper and more efficient, which makes harvesting faster. Other tools like hoes also last longer and do not break as easily, so they can be used repeatedly over long periods of work. These improvements mean that farming becomes more effective. More land can be worked and tasks can be completed with less effort and more consistency. Tool making also becomes more specialized during this period. Iron tools are not made in the same simple way as earlier stone tools. They require skill, equipment, and knowledge of heating and shaping metal. This turns tool production into its own area of work, separate from everyday farming. At this point, farming and tool making become closely linked. Better tools improve farming, and the need for better farming encourages better tools. Both continue to develop together over time. As the exhibition moves into the Joseon dynasty, agriculture is shown not only as a practical system, but also as something closely connected to belief and tradition. One of the key features in this section is the Sonnangdan, which is a village shrine built for agricultural spirits. These were placed near fields or village edges, and they were believed to protect the land and help ensure good harvests. People would visit these spaces during important farming periods, especially before planting and after harvests. Offerings were made and simple rituals were carried out. These actions were meant to ask for balance in weather, soil conditions, and overall harvest success. Storage systems also became more developed during this period. Grain is collected and kept in larger, more stable storage spaces, which helps manage food supply across different seasons and reduce loss during difficult years. It shows a system where farming is supported by both practical tools and shared belief. Work in the fields is connected to rituals community effort, and growing systems of knowledge that supported agriculture on a wider level. As the exhibition moves into modern history, the focus shifts on how agriculture becomes organized on a national level. This is where the National Agricultural Cooperative Federation, known as Nonghyup, is introduced. It was created to support farmers by building a more connected system around agriculture, rather than leaving each farm to operate on its own. One of the main ideas behind this system is cooperation. Farmers are able to share resources such as equipment, financial support, and distribution networks. This helps reduce pressure on individual farms and makes it easier to manage production and sales. The exhibition also shows how agricultural work becomes more structured over time. There are records, photographs, and materials that explain how farming support systems developed, especially in relation to supply chains and market access. Grain collection and distribution became more organized through these cooperative systems. Instead of each farmer handling everything independently, products can be collected, managed, and distributed through shared channels. This improves stability across farming communities. This section shows agriculture at a larger scale. It is no longer about land and tools, but also about systems that connect people, resources, and markets together. As the museum comes to an end, there's a small area where you can stamp your booklet, so I got one to mark the end of the museum. It always feels like a nice way to finish a museum tour. And that is the museum. If you're in Seoul, it is worth adding to your list.